The Fate of the Furious is directed by F. Gary Gray and is the 8th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise. Now, before we get into anything, it must be understood that these movies all know that they're ridiculous. The first few took themselves a bit too seriously, but once they knew they were ridiculous, they were great, and that was about Fast 5 when they introduced The Rock. Now, Fate of the Furious begins with Dom and Letty on their honeymoon in Cuba. They're still driving fast cars and fooling around in the world of street racing. That is until Dom sees a woman whose engine has failed. He goes to her help, but it seems she used the engine as bait. This is Charlize Theron's character, Cypher, and she's blackmailed Dom with a photograph that we, the audience, do not see immediately. But it's the thing that makes Dom turn on his whole family and start working for Cypher. So we know from the get-go that Dom is going to betray his entire team, and this actually makes for a pretty interesting story. And as far as story goes, Fate has the most cohesive plot out of the recent Fast films. The only bad thing I would say is that everything is laid out very flat. Things are said that could have been shown, or sentences that could have been a word or a look. But as I said before, the Fast films are aware that they are big, dumb movies that are meant to be on huge screens in the summertime. Another great and wonderful thing about this movie is Jason Statham. He has more character in this film than I've seen in most of his career. In Furious 7, he was very cold and menacing. In Fate, he's much lighter and has a sense of humor. It actually is joyous seeing him, Statham, and The Rock together because they both have these very menacing figures, but they can also achieve this cuteness that puts a smile on your face. They start butting heads, but throughout the film they get closer, and it's kind of beautiful to watch. Now, as this is a Fast and Furious movie, there is a sad lack of cars. Not that there aren't amazing car sequences, I just feel that a lot of the hand-on-hand combat outweighs the car action, at least simply in runtime. That being said, the action is fantastic, and it's not all shaky cam. You can see what's happening, and it's really cool. I'd say if you're a fan of action movies, and especially if you're a fan of the Fast and Furious films, even if you only like the last few, this movie's for you. It's not revolutionary. It's nothing that will be nominated for Best Screenplay, but it's exactly the type of movie that belongs on the big screen.
Dom! You gonna turn your back on family?